My peoples, my peoples. Sebastian Fundora will be defending his title tonight versus Chordale Booker. Now, to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about Chordale Booker. I know that he has, only one defeat in his record, 23 wins and 11 knockouts. I'm actually looking at the box rec, so that's not even something I know by heart. I've only seen him fight one time, and that was versus Hamza Shiraz, which that's his lone defeat. Having said that, when I look at his box rec, you know, I don't really, besides his lone defeat, which is Hamza Shiraz, I don't really know anyone else in his resume. So he's beaten lower level opponents. I would say all 23 of his wins are versus lower level opponents. And based off of that alone, I think he's going to be super overmatched tonight. He may put up a good fight. I'm not saying he's going to lay down or it's going to be, something that Fondora is going to finish him quick. But based on the numbers, based on the stats, I think that Fondora is going to be a little bit too much for him. Obviously, as is the case in most of his fights, Fondora is going to have the huge height and reach advantages. Let's see what type of fight he's trying to make it. We all know that Fondora sometimes he don't use that height and reach. He likes to get on the inside, mix it up, and that's where it can get dangerous, and his opponent can land a big shot and change the tide. But based on the numbers, I don't think that Booker has much of a chance versus the Tower Inferno. Now, in boxing, anything can happen. This would be a huge upset. This would be a crazy upset of epic proportions. If he can step in and beat the Tower Inferno, that would be insane. I don't think anyone is expecting, what's his first name again? I don't think anyone is expecting for Chordale Booker to actually beat Fondora. You guys can tell me. Let me know if you've seen him fight before. Like I said, I only seen him once versus Hamza Shiraz, and that's the fight that he lost. Besides that, I've never seen him fight before. Zoki Pejic. Jokic is the GOAT. We talking about boxing, my brother. I hope you don't mean... I hope you're not talking about basketball. Come on now. So what do you guys think, man? Does Chordale Booker have a chance versus Sebastian Fundora? Can he pull off the upset? Or is he going to get absolutely sparked out? Is he getting knocked out tonight? I'm telling you right now, my peoples, just like this morning, Sky Nicholson, Tiara Brown, Camboses, I was calling all of those fights live. This one I'm definitely going to be live once again. I'm going to be calling it. Remember, as of 8 p.m. Eastern Time, they're going to be mixing it up. It's a triple header. There's like 10 fights, but 7 of them will not be televised. So that triple header, I'm going to be calling them fights. And I expect Fondora to win in spectacular fashion. I'm assuming he's going to be looking for the knockout, and it's going to be brutal. If I could predict it, I would say it's going to be a brutal knockout. Mike Tyson is the GOAT. Mike Tyson is a great fighter. So, my peoples, can anyone predict or say if you think that Chordale Booker can beat Fondora? Is that actually going to happen? Can that actually happen? I don't know. I don't see it. Like I said, as I'm looking at his resume, and I don't see big wins. I don't see the type of wins that would suggest to me that he can beat Fondora. I just honestly don't see it. And like I mentioned before, Booker hasn't really beaten anybody at that level. It looks like all of his wins are versus lower level opponents, guys who have a bunch of losses. And I just don't think, someone who has that type of resume is going to do very well versus Sebastian Fundora, who's been in there with very tough opponents, very good fighters. Jacques Blegois. I'll send you money if you can pronounce my name or surname. Well, Jacques, I don't need you to send me money. This is a boxing channel, so you don't need to be here. You have a good rest of your day and find something else to do. Peace. What a goofball. Um, I don't know if it makes me a bad guy that I enjoy kicking people out of here, but you know, if you come with some goofy stuff, you're getting kicked out. I don't need to waste my time. Jose, hola, ¿cómo está eso, Vic? So yeah, my people, Sebastian Fundora, I believe that he is gonna look to put together a spectacular performance. Again, I will be calling these fights tonight. Don't forget, man, I got 12 people up in here, my peoples. Don't forget to hit that like button. It's just a little button that you click, pop, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I promise you. See what the fuss is all about. We got to 1,000 subscribers a few days ago, headed to 2,000 subscribers, and after that, we going for 1,000,000. Let's get it, my peoples. I'm gonna be calling this fights live tonight, man. It's gonna be on. I believe that it's gonna be fun to watch. Fondora always is a fun fighter to watch. He's always exciting. He's always gonna let his hands go. We're gonna see big punches flying left and right. Gabe Riverwood, what's good, mi hermano? ¿Qué es lo que, hermanito mío? What's the deal, my brother? Don't forget, don't miss out on Sebastian Fundora tonight, my brother. It's gonna be on. I was looking at Chordale Booker's record, and honestly, I don't think he has much of a chance to beat Fondora. We know that anything can happen in boxing. That's why when an underdog wins, it's like it's an upset. That's what an upset is about. We're not expecting it. But honestly, based on what I see in his resume, I've only seen him fight one time, and it's when he lost to Hamza Shiraz. That's his lone defeat. He only lost once. But if you look at his resume, he hasn't fought anybody of this type of caliber. So, you know, a guy like that, he's going to run into the Tower Inferno, and I believe he's going to get knocked out. Honestly, that's how I see it playing out. Gabe Riverhead, yeah, how you feeling about that? I think Booker's going to get knocked out. I'm just being honest with that. David, just handpicked fighter apart from Shiraz. I mean, if you and I agree with you, David. You know, Shiraz obviously stopped him in 11 rounds. That's the only time I've seen him fight. And before I was thinking, you know what, this guy, he only has one loss. He could be pretty good. He could give Fondora a tough fight. But then I'm looking at his resume, and it's guys with a bunch of losses, guys we never heard of, guys who you know they're not even full-time boxers. They got another job. So he's not ready for the type of level where Fondora's at, and I believe that Fondora's going to knock him out in beautiful fashion. That's my expectations here. Gabe Rivera Red, he going to have a tough night then. Yeah, it's going to be a tough night for him, my brother. You know, I don't know, if he's going to have heart and take the punishment and stick around for as long as possible. But Fondora, with that height and reach advantage and the power that he carries in both hands, I think he's going to have his way. I think that he's going to have his way tonight. That's just me being honest, bro. Gabriel Barrett. So he not even B-level. Honestly, no disrespect to Chordale Booker, but I don't think he even B-level, bro. I don't think so. I think, he could turn out to be a okay fighter with decent skills maybe, but nah. I don't even see him as a B-level fighter, to be honest. David, with your boxing knowledge, your numbers should be in the stratosphere, in my opinion. I appreciate that, David. And I promise you, people just don't know about me yet, but they will. And the numbers will be in the stratosphere. I promise you that. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. So it's like, right now, somebody, you know what somebody told me the other day? Jay, you're like the biggest kept secret since right before they released sliced bread, that nobody knew about the sliced bread. But the small circle that knew about it, they're like, oh my God, when we release this thing, it's going to be crazy. Everybody going to be making sandwiches. I'm a big secret. People just don't know about me yet. But I promise you, they will. Only a matter of time, my brother. But again, tonight is going to be a fun night of boxing. It's a triple header. PBC's going to... And I think, to be honest, my people, this is a bad sign for PBC's card. And I'm going to tell you why. They have 10 fights. Out of those 10 fights, 7 of them will not be televised. We all know they got this deal with Amazon Prime, right? Where Amazon Prime is where they host their fights. Well, you have a card with 10 fights, you have some good prospects in there, and none of them will be televised. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That's crazy work right there. Only the last 3 fights will be televised. Everyone else, you get to watch them on YouTube and shit. So I don't think that's a good sign for PBC and the whole situation with Amazon Prime. It's just not looking good to me, to be honest with y'all. But still, I'm looking forward to it. I am going to be calling the fights. I'm going to be calling the entire triple header. And by the way, guys, I did call the fights this morning with Sky Nicholson and Tiara Brown. I also called that George Kambosos fight. The videos are already up in case you want to check them. And if you don't want to see me calling the whole fight, I actually did a review of Tiara Brown and Sky Nicholson. That's like a 5-6 minute video. Posted that a couple of hours ago in case you want to check that out. Very insightful. I tell you exactly what went down in the fight, how it played out, what was expected. And that was a beautiful fight, man. You know, the ladies went 10 rounds. They went at it. Classic matchup of the boxer versus the puncher. And that's how it played out. You know, you saw Sky Nicholson using the footwork, using the jab, using, you know, her techniques to make her miss and make her pay. But then you saw Tiara Brown just be super aggressive, letting her hands go throughout the whole time. Combination punching every time she was able to close the gap. She had Sky Nicholson clinching all the time, clinching and clinching, because just those power punches just kept raining upon her. Gabe Rivera Red. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. What do you think about Kambosos' performance? Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Kambosos, he won that fight, but, you know, for a guy that just took that fight on 5 days' notice, Kambosos should have been able to blast him out of there, and he was not. He was not able to. So, honestly, man, it's looking like Kambosos might be developing into a gatekeeper. No disrespect, but, you know, he a tough fighter. He got heart, but this guy was putting hands on him. He won. He won the fight fair and square, but I wasn't expecting it to be as competitive as it was. That's my take on it. Kambosos may get an opportunity to fight Richardson Hitchens. If he does, this may actually be his last, like, big shot. After that, he may turn into a gatekeeper, and he might be the guy. If you're a prospect and you want a title shot or you want to move up in the rankings, that's the guy you got to go beat Kambosos and show me what you got. I think he might end up being that type of fighter. Mark, anybody know where they showing Fondora prelims? Look, that card is 10 fights. I was just mentioning that 7 of them are not going to be televised. I don't know. They might be on YouTube. Directly on YouTube, because they will not be televised on Amazon Prime. And, you know, I wanted to see it because Joseph Brown, he's a fighter that I met personally. Well, you know, conversations on the phone and shit. I actually got an interview with him. Josh Brown is a fighter who's a very good fighter. He's a prospect who has a future, who I think he's going to do special things. And I'm bothered that his fight is not going to be televised. I was looking forward to actually seeing him. So I think that the prelims may be on YouTube. That's the only other option. They're definitely not going to be televised on Amazon Prime, which, my peoples, makes me question why PBC has this deal with Amazon Prime. They have 10 fights on the card, and they're only televising 3. I don't know if maybe that's the slot that they're getting. They only got a slot for 3 fights, but that deal, I don't know what's going on with that. PBC doesn't have that many dates. If you look at the dates for fights that they have this whole year, it's not that many of them. So now that we finally have a PBC card, we're only televising 3 fights. It's not a good look to me, at least. David, I only found you last week. Your subs needs to do something small for your service. Hit the like. Leave a comment. Regardless if it's negative or positive, it will help the algorithm. Simple. I appreciate you, my brother. You know, I tell people, hit that like button, man. Even if you jump up in here for 30 seconds, hit that like button real quick and get the hell out of here. That'll help me out. The comments, I have had some people that do appreciate the content that I put together, and they push me hard. You know, I got some people in here that they'll share my videos around. They'll tell other people, yo, you need to subscribe to Box Center, man. JSmiff, he doing his thing. So I salute. I appreciate it. I got a lot of people that do support me. Hopefully a few more come on board, try to make this happen. Because again, my brother, I promise you, Mark, Box Center will be the #1 live for boxing. This is going to be the go-to. You know, a lot of people, they have a head start on me. They have thousands, dozens, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So they're ahead. They got everybody. They got all the boxing fans going over there to watch. But trust me, when the time is right, everybody's going to have to come see me. Ernest Morales, Hitchens will stop Campbell's mismatch. I mean, listen, Richardson Hitchens said that he's down to fighting him. And Cambosos, he's saying, well, he's going to run from me, but I'll fight him. I think that fight may actually happen next. And in fact, what I thought happened is that they had an opponent lined up for Cambosos so that he can look good and then pivot into Richardson Hitchens. He didn't exactly look spectacular. He did some very nice things in this fight. Some very good counter punches. Landed that left hook real sharp. So he had moments where he looked really good. But still, you know, versus a guy who had 5 days notice, it went the distance, it was very competitive. I don't know how Cambosos is going to fare versus Richardson Hitchens. I just don't know. But to be fair, we got to keep in mind, Richardson Hitchens did not look spectacular in his last couple of fights. They were very close. He took his punishment as well. So we got to see what Richardson Hitchens we're going to get if he fights Cambosos. David, that's when all the bigger channels and boxing fanatics get your channel recommendations. It's going to happen, my brother. I promise you. I promise you. A lot of people already getting to know me, coming through to check me out. It's going to happen. Fun yet? 2001 boxing. Bro, yesterday George Foreman, a boxing legend, died. What do you think? I mean, with George Foreman, we lost one of the greatest heavyweights to ever lace on a pair of gloves. George Foreman was, you know, an exceptionally great fighter. And to be honest, in this entire generation, we haven't seen anyone that could match George Foreman. You know, we've seen some strong fighters. We've seen some power punchers in this era, but nothing like George Foreman. We ain't seen nothing like that. George Foreman was just something special. And I don't know if we're going to get to see somebody like him in our generation. You know, that's truly what you call a generational talent, because that's a phrase that's kind of used lightly in boxing. Oh, that's a generational talent. That's a generational talent. Everybody's not a generational talent, my people. A generational talent is a fighter that you saw in that generation, and it takes years and years and years before you see somebody else like that. That was George Foreman. Super special fighter. And you got to think about it. This guy was out of boxing for like 10 years, came back in his mid-40s and won a heavyweight title. That's insane. And he didn't win a heavyweight title that was vacant or an email belt. He beat Michael Moorer, a reigning champion. So George Foreman, man, as legitimate as it get, we lost a great one. GR Hector, hello from Poland, my friend. And good night. Take care. What's up, GR Hector? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. Sebastian Fundora versus Chordale Booker. They fighting tonight, man. Don't miss out on that fight. Honestly, I believe, like I've been saying, Fondora's going to win in beautiful fashion. He's going to be probably looking for the knockout, because Booker, I don't even know how Booker got this fight, to be honest with y'all. Booker, he doesn't seem to be somebody who's at that level that he should be fighting for a title, taking into account the opponent that he's faced. Honestly, I don't like him as Fondora's opponent. Fun year 2001 boxing. I think the same. He faced the great heavyweights, Ali, Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, Ivan. He fought a lot. He fought a lot of fighters, man. George Foreman was a special fighter. And he was a good guy, too. He was a real nice guy. The George Foreman grilling machine. How many of us got to actually purchase and use the George Foreman grilling machine for years? So even outside of boxing, he left his legacy. And you know what's something funny about that grilling machine? If you have it or if you ever tried it, Hulk Hogan, the wrestler, he was offered a grilling machine or a blender to blend fruit and make milkshakes. And to him, the grilling machine just didn't make any sense. He picked the blender. Since he picked the blender, that company went to George Foreman like, we got this grilling machine. And George Foreman was like, let's do it, let's get it. With his charisma, with his personality, he was able to sell that product and it became what it became. The George Foreman grilling machine, my people. And if y'all notice, after that grilling machine blew up, a lot of companies started making similar grilling machines that were exactly the same, a different name brand, but they did exactly the same as George Foreman's. So George Foreman made a huge impact inside of boxing and outside of boxing because that grilling machine is going to live on forever. G.R. Hector. This night fight in UFC Poland, Jan Blachowicz, Poland Power. To be honest, I'm not really gonna be following up on that fight because there's boxing. And when it comes to boxing, my brother, we focus 100% on boxing. So I'm not really gonna be tuning into that fight. I mostly watch the replays. But by the way, I do have to tell you, I'm working on creating a podcast for MMA. Emmanuel Morales, Booker was handed the opportunity on a silver spoon. I agree with you 100%, my guy. Like, how does a guy like Booker end up getting a title shot when, look at this. His last fight, he beat Brian Damon Chavez, who has a record of 14 wins and 4 losses. Before that, he beat a guy with 23 wins and 5 losses. Before that, he beat a guy with Julio de Jesus Rodriguez, 27 wins and 6 losses. Nicholas Hernandez, 6 losses. Daniel Aduku, 15 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. Angel Hernandez, 17 wins and 17 losses. How do you earn a title shot when you're fighting these guys? I don't even know. How did that even happen? I know that supposedly Fondora was going to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence pulled out of that fight. But I don't know how they ended up with Booker as the opponent. I don't know. This looked like a serious cherry pick. This is not going to be, I know for a fact that Fondora is going to be looking to walk out of there with a spectacular win. Spectacular knockout. It has to be. It has to be. When you're fighting somebody who has only one notable fight versus Hamza Shiraz, and he got stopped in the 11th round, and every other fighter he faced, you either don't know them or they're lower level fighters that you may have heard of. But I don't know. I don't know how Booker honestly got that opportunity versus Sebastian Fundora. How does this guy get a title shot? I don't know. Yoda, salute. What time is the fight? Salute, my brother. So the card has 10 fights, but only 3 of them will be televised, and it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So Fondora will probably be stepping in the ring like around 10 o'clock at night. And I've been saying, my people, to me, this is not a good look for PBC and the deal that they have with Amazon Prime. Because, come on, bro, y'all got 10 fights, and you only televising 3 out of the 10? What kind of deal you got with Amazon Prime where you have a whole card and only 3 fights get televised out of that card? I'm not feeling it. Ratch, salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. So, I don't know. I don't know why that happened like that. I would have expected that at least 5-6 fights are going to be televised. But you have a whole card with 10 fights and only 3 get on TV. That's crazy work. And then you have Joseph Brown. Like, I wanted to see Joseph Brown fight, my peoples. I was really looking forward to that fight. Like, yeah, Joseph Brown going to fight. Like, I've been following up on him, and I knew that he was going to fight. So I'm like, yeah, Joseph Brown, I'm going to get to check that fight out. I'm going to call it, too. I'm not going to be calling it. This shit is not even going to be on TV. That's crazy work. So whatever's going on with the PBC, whatever's going on with the deal that they have with Amazon Prime, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. You got 10 fights and you only televising 3. That's whack. There's some real good prospects that are also going to be fighting on that card besides Joseph Brown. And none of those fights are getting televised. So I'm not really feeling it. Ernest Morales, yup, it's been set up to make the best of the promotion for a future top fight unification. Yoda, they charging for this fight? To be honest, I'm not sure. It's on Amazon Prime. So, but it doesn't look like it's a regular pay-per-view fight. I would assume and hope it's not. You know, I guess you just probably have to have Amazon Prime. It would be crazy work if they charging for this. I mean, they're only televising 3 fights. 3 fights. Out of the 10, only 3 get on Amazon Prime. So I don't know what's going on. John Parham, salute. You watching any prelims? So salute John Parham. Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. The prelims, they're not going to be televised. I'm guessing that they're going to put them on YouTube. They might be on YouTube. If they're on YouTube, I'm going to jump on there. I'm going to check them out. But I am disappointed about the fact that PBC has a card with 10 fights and they're only televising 3. That's not a good look for the PBC. It's just not. It's just not. That's my opinion on that. JJ's in the house. Hello, everyone. Yeah, get every fighter their air time so we can support them. I mean, Joseph Brown is going to be fighting, my peoples. If you've seen Joseph Brown, he's from the Mayweather team. He trains often in the Mayweather gym. He's mad cool with Rollies. He be hanging out with Rollies as well. But Joseph Brown is a special young fighter, a special prospect. This kid is planning on... I interviewed him, as a matter of fact. The video is up a few months ago. And he's planning on winning a championship in boxing and a championship in different sports. He's trying to win a championship in boxing. I'm not sure if it's MMA that he also want to win a championship in, but he want to be a champion in multiple sports. He's that good that I believe he can accomplish that feat. Ernest Morales, none of the 3 fights are eye-catching. You're right. You're right, my brother. They're not fights that you're like, oh my God, I really want to watch this fight. These are the type of fights that you're going to watch if you're a real boxing fan, you follow the sport, you're going to watch. But, casuals is not going to watch this fight. They're not going to even waste their time tuning in. I've been trying to figure out how does, and no disrespect to Chordale Booker. He has a record where he only has 1 defeat. So, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Look at him right there, my people. This the guy fighting Fondora. Chordale Booker. He has 1 defeat. He lost to Hamza Shiraz. But if you look at his box rec, you will not recognize any of the opponents that he beat. He has one of those type of records where his opponents have 4 losses, 5 losses, 6 losses, 6 losses, 17 losses, 27 losses. His record doesn't validate why he should be getting a title shot at all. How does he end up sharing the ring with Sebastian Fundora, a legitimate champion who's been there with tough opponents? I don't even know. I guess they put him in there to make Fondora look spectacular. Like, this is the only way I see it playing out. Fondora should look spectacular. He's a lot taller. Huge reach advantage. Huge experience. When it comes to experience, they're not even on the same playing field. I don't know if this guy, besides his fight where he lost to Hamza Shiraz, I don't even know if this guy has ever been on any big stage. Based on his record, it looks like he's been fighting on very small venues. And now you get a title shot versus Sebastian Fundora. The Tower Inferno is going to knock you out, bro. In brutal fashion. In devastating fashion. If the referee doesn't save Chordale Booker, it's going to be a brutal knockout. That's my prediction. We always say, in boxing, my peoples, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. Anybody can eat a nasty shot, and everything goes downhill from there. But based on the numbers, based on the stats, the human algorithm is like, yep, Fondora's knocking him out. I did my calculations. Brutally. Nasty work. That's the only way I see it playing out, my peoples. John Parham, 1.2 subs and growing. You already know it, my G. We're going on to that 2,000, and we're really going to be going after that 1,000,000. That million subscribers, that's what we're going to hit. Whatever amount of time it's going to take, that's where we headed. Ain't nobody messing with us. Box Center is going to be number one. There's no getting around that. It's the inevitable. Facts, my brother. Yo, John Parham, the height difference is crazy. It's insane. So you imagine now this guy's a lot bigger and a lot better. That's it. That combination of a lot better and a lot bigger, it's like he's fighting a little kid, bro. Like he's fighting a little kid. You're going to beat him up. The Peter 1681, it is. Ernest Morales, I'll be watching because yo amo el deporte. Looks spectacular for the next big fight. You see, that's what it is. People who love the sport of boxing, we're going to be tuning in. But at the end of the day, this is like it's a huge cherry pick to, I guess, to make Fondora look good. But he already been looking good anyways. He's been looking good. But damn, a cherry pick of this nature. And you know what I think happened? And this is just me, my peoples. I don't have no information on it, but this is just me. Who do they have? Who does PBC have to go fight on Amazon Prime? It's like they don't have nobody. That's why I told people. When a lot of people were saying, you a hater. Because I say, yo, that PBC deal with Amazon Prime is shit. It is shit. Because who's going to be fighting? Who are they going to be fighting on Amazon Prime? Who they got? So there you have it. They couldn't make Errol Spence versus Fondora. Now who Fondora's going to fight? The only way he could get some good fights, some big fights, is by going fighting somebody on the Zone, on ESPN. And ESPN is going to be out of boxing, so the Zone is going to be that network. It's playing out that way. Shit is going on the Zone. It's popping over there. It's just the way it's playing out. Do you know at what time Jules Lee Vargas fight tonight? I'm not sure, but it is going to be before 8 o'clock because the main card, the triple header, start at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So before that, that's when all the other fights start. I'm guessing it's 10 fights. It's going to be 7 fights that are not televised. Being that it's 7 fights, I'm guessing that card is going to start. It's probably about to start anytime soon. It's already about to be 6:30 Eastern time. And it's going to be 7 fights before 8 o'clock. So I'm expecting it to be starting pretty soon. I don't know at what time. And again, I'm super disappointed that these fights don't get to be televised. That's what that deal with PBC and Amazon Prime is looking like. These fire prospects that we want to see them, we're not going to see them unless they put that shit on YouTube. We might have to go to YouTube. Maybe the prelims are going to be on YouTube. But I'm not feeling it, man. We're talking about 10 fights. And we only get the last 3. All these real good prospects that have a future in boxing. You know, if you're a true boxing fan, you like to watch these guys as they're coming up, as they're being developed. These blue chip prospects, when they have 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, you want to watch them. You want to see that developmental process. We don't get to see it, unfortunately. So that's something that I'm disappointed about. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we could do about it. Nothing we could do. Hopefully, Al Heyman jump on board, get down with His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, or get down with the Zone, get down with Matchroom, start mixing it up with the other labels. Y'all gotta start doing it. Cause look, Fondora's fighting a guy on Amazon Prime that, number 1, most of us never heard of. Number 2, we barely seen him. I only seen him versus Hamza Shiraz. He got his ass whooped. And that's who's getting a title shot. Why? I believe he's getting a title shot because they don't got anyone else to fight on Amazon Prime. You see, when they was on Showtime, this side of the street shit, it was working in Showtime because they had a lot of fighters. But what happened? A lot of people didn't even catch on. When they left to Amazon Prime, a lot of their fighters left PBC. A lot of them. PBC don't got that type of roster anymore. So now how you going to fight, keep it in-house or on this side of the street on Amazon Prime like that having a guy like Booker get a title shot, who none of us ever heard of. Nobody was calling for that fight. Nobody's anticipating it. I had somebody tell me today, I didn't even know Fondora's fighting today. Because if you're not really following up on boxing, I'm asking you, my peoples, have y'all seen them really promoting this Fondora fight? Have y'all seen like promotion, like, oh shit, they promoting it, like okay, they trying to make this happen? I really haven't seen a lot of promotion. They're not even promoting that shit like that. So it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. The way that PBC's moving with the situation with Amazon Prime, to me, it's not looking good. It's looking like they're going downhill and like they need to make some changes. People were focused on, Amazon Prime got billions and got millions and millions of subscribers and all this other shit. So, those people ain't boxing fans. You need boxing fans to come tune in. You need boxing fans to be down with it. And boxing fans are not down with Fondora versus Booker. They not. People not expecting that fight or looking forward to that fight. Now, us, hardcore boxing fans, we're going to tune in. I guarantee you, they're not even going to share the ratings for that fight. They won't even tell us what the ratings are, because the ratings are going to be super low. A card with only 3 fights, and the only guy in those whole 3 fights that is Fondora, that's not a good sign. That's not a card that a lot of people are going to be watching. But we're going to be watching it. And I'm going to be calling the action just like I did this morning. I'm going to be going live. I'm going to be calling it round by round, punch by punch. And if you've seen it this morning, you already know, my peoples. I call it how I see it. If you didn't see it this morning, you could go back and check it out. By the way, I did also another video, just a review of what happened with Scott Nicholson and Tierra Brown. My peoples, if you see that video, I posted it about a couple of hours ago. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you put a little comment in there. Say something about the fight or about the commentary. Get down with me, my peoples. Ernesto Morales, if Fondora wasn't headlining the card, it wouldn't be happening. I mean, we don't know anybody else up in there. And that's an exaggeration. There's a couple of names in there that I know. But there's nobody in there that's a star. Fondora is the biggest star in the card. And then everybody else is like, who is this? They're not known like that. Al Montes, De Los Santos versus Keyshawn. ¿Qué tú crees? I like that fight. I like that fight. A lot of people don't realize this. But there's a bunch of fighters who don't want to fight De Los Santos. A lot of people don't want to see De Los Santos sharing the ring with them. Apparently though, Frank the Ghost Martin and De Los Santos are close to making it happen with each other. I love that fight. Frank the Ghost Martin is one of those fighters that I really like. I enjoy watching him. I like his style of boxing. And I believe that he has the tools and resources to become a champion. And so does De Los Santos. So I think they're a great matchup for each other. The styles make fights, and I think they both have the style to make it explosive versus each other. We'll see fireworks. We'll see fireworks. Al Montes, Martin fight is off. What you mean Martin fight is off? John Parham, odds are off. Al Montes, De Los Santos, and Keyshawn going at it. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. I'm telling you, if they fight each other, that is a great fight where we're going to see fireworks early on. The Peter 1681 De Los Santos will KO Martin. I mean, I don't want to say that De Los Santos will KO Martin, but it can happen because he got pop. He got some serious pop in both hands. And De Los Santos is a very crafty counterpuncher. He counterpunch with that hook, boom, real hard. Can happen. John Parham bet against Fondora and win money. Man, listen, if you bet against Fondora, you put your money on Booker, you might as well grab your money, flush it down the toilet, and that's going to be the same thing. Booker is not going to win that fight. Oh, they going at it on Twitter? I didn't even know that, bro. I'm telling you. You put your money on Booker. Forget about going to the betting spot. Forget about betting online. Go to the toilet. You want to bet 100? Pull out that 100. Flush it in the toilet and be like, that's on you, Booker. Flush that shit. He's not going to win. I mean, what if it's an upset? Hey, upsets happen in boxing. But damn, just with the size difference alone, I cannot envision an upset. Fondora looked like he's fighting a little boy. Mad big in front of Booker. And it's not just that he's mad big, because the size is not always everything. It's the skill level. Booker is not even close to that type of level. He's getting pummeled. Real talk. He's getting pummeled. My people, so I just wanted to come on really to let y'all know that I am going to be going live for the Fondora card, which is 3 fights. I'm going to be live for all 3 of those. Come tune in. If y'all watching a fight from home, come check in with me. And by the way, I'm going to also be broadcasting the actual fights on Instagram. Why do I broadcast these fights on Instagram? Because I know a lot of people don't have access to see them on Amazon Prime. So if you don't have access to see it on Amazon Prime, you could go on my IG, and guess what? You'll be able to see the whole card. Everything that's being televised will be on my Instagram. So look, by the way, that's my Instagram right there, my peoples. Damn. There you go. JSmiff 134. I will be broadcasting the fights on this Instagram. So in case you don't have Amazon Prime, it's all about the boxers. It's all for the boxers. That's what boxing is about. If you don't have Amazon Prime, if you don't have a way to see it, come check it with me, my peoples. I'm going to be broadcasting the fight for y'all live on Instagram, so you can see it right here. JJ's in there. Thanks, man. That is cool what you are doing. Yo, we got to look out for each other. You know how I came up with that? Because before I started creating content, I had a friend of mine that used to tell me, yo, when you don't got it, just let me know. I'll broadcast that shit. And I will hit him up. And look, that's how sometimes you can have people that really rock with you. He don't even watch boxing like that. But he know I'm a boxing head. So he used to tell me, yo, I got you. I'll broadcast it from one of my phones and I'll leave it there so you can check it out. So now I'm doing that for boxing fans. If you can't see it on Amazon Prime, go to my Instagram. You'll be able to see it there. I'm going to be broadcasting the whole 3 fights, and I'm going to be calling them. So my peoples, there we go. I want to give a shout out. John Paramon's always looking out for me. Yo, if you haven't hit that like button, my peoples, you still got like 30 seconds to hit that like button or subscribe to the channel. Shout out to John Param, Almantas, JJ Zendejas. Yo, everybody who's always showing me love, who always come through, even if it's for a few seconds. Ozzy, appreciate you, my brother. Yo, one love, my peoples. I really appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern time. As soon as these fights start, I'm going to be broadcasting live on Instagram, and I'm going to be calling the fights right here. You already know, my peoples. This is JSmiff. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show, my peoples. Catch me later tonight. Peace. Let me go get something to eat. Fuck out of here.